to, I can't imagine how loud it is. Oh my god. Like, because you don't know how loud it actually is, really. Okay, my internet's still fine. It's like there's like people banging on the walls, but it's just the thunder. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, so I might die at random times, but I'll come back.
And even drugs is utterly abnormal.
Everything seems okay right now.
If he had lost consciousness and hadn't been able to tell Sis about the phone, he would have died. I'm truly glad you made it back safe.
I'm also glad I made it back safe. It was close. I don't remember much. It was a breeze. This is not reassuring. This is a blatant lie. I don't remember much. That's also kind of worrisome. I'm just gonna be honest and say it was close.
I almost became one of your assailants as well.
It still freaked me out when I saw the suicide on the news, though.
We made sure to live normal lives while he was being interrogated to avoid drawing any suspicion. Even with that, I couldn't help but—
Plan worked out?
I wanted to believe, but considering what we were up against...
Ryuji's a bit on the dense and carefree side.
Can it, cat?
I had to be patient and avoid this place until things settled down. I finally feel relieved.
We knew he was alive, but it was difficult to not worry until we could confirm it in person.
Now that I think about it, my interrogation was just a formality for the head commander. What a joke, letting me interrogate someone who was meant to die.
Yeah.
They just wanted to avoid backlash. Very well. From here forward, I will do my utmost to assist you. You saved me, after all.
That's reassuring to hear.
I'll do whatever I can to help too. Just let me know.
I'm just a coffee
Let's
dad.
Take a break for now, though.
But I'll
This
do
old
my
brain is
best.
pooped.
I love Sojiro. He's such a
and
good
feel free
dad.
to use the first floor when you guys want to get together to talk. You'll need a hideout where you can be safe. Just say the word, and I'll close shop early.
Are you sure?
Can't afford
this guy
that.
can't leave. Plus, you won't make much progress if people can hear you from downstairs.
That's true.
It's not like this place is the liveliest joint in town. It won't be a huge loss for me.
You should really keep your shop open to make money.
Let us accept his offer. What a great man.
He is a good man. That's my dad. The summary of the story up to this point has been updated. To read, press triangle to open the menu, then select story from under the system option. There he is! There's the fuckhead!
Familiar.
Goddamn golf ball!
Enter.
Enter.
That's the death certificate of the principal offender, correct? Is there a problem with it?
No,
nothing
in particular.
I'm gonna pause a lot whenever Akechi talks, because there's so much depth to everything he says. But, like, he's, like, detaching himself from who he just killed, because that was his friend. His best friend!
More importantly, you've done well with regard to the prosecutors.
You're so evil, it's stupid.
The cause of death for the SIU director has been settled as a stroke.
I had him work quite substantially on forging evidence. His loss should be mourned.
Is that radio tower, like,
that I could enter
crooked
the Phantom
back there?
Thieves' interrogation room,
Can you
too.
see that?
The
Why is it
SIU
crooked?
is in disarray with his death. I'll take my time choosing a successor after the elections.
At any rate, I'm now praised as a hero, and I owe it all to the Phantom Thieves.
All possible hindrances are now gone.
I'm not even mad. He's cute. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
And on to our next story.
Akechi can
The
do
snap
no wrong.
election for the
He's too
House of
pretty to be
Representatives.
wrong.
Discussion is swirling around potential nominees as the deadline for candidacy announcement nears. Candidates will announce on the 23rd of this month, while voting will be held on the 18th of next.
Elections, huh? Don't matter to us. It's not like we can vote in them yet anyways.
Why don't we resume our conversation?
Well, the Phantom Thieves are back together. We can finally take it to
More
Akechi and the
plot
bastard back.
dumping.
Have you figured out who's behind all this?
Akechi accidentally let that slip after the murder. He said, Shido-san.
Did he do it on purpose?
Feels like I've heard that somewhere.
I feel like he did that on
He is
purpose.
unmistakably a man of power if he has such strong connections to the police.
Shido? Could it be Masayoshi Shido?
Yes.
Who?
Who?
I believe he's a politician.
He was literally
For
like
real?
giving a speech right in front of my
certainly
bedroom, and
possible
it was
that
like
Shido is the
so
mastermind.
loud.
Huh?
There's no point in
have
him
some
being
kind of
there other
evidence?
than like plot.
Nothing material. However, there are various conditions which align
Foreshadowing.
with that possibility. First, he would profit from damage done to the current administration by the psychotic breakdowns. He's maintained a negative stance toward the Phantom Thieves and has gained tremendous popularity. On top of that, he'll most likely become the next Prime Minister if he wins this upcoming election.
No.
Did he set us up with that election in mind?
If he is behind all this, that would be in stark opposition to his honest public image.
So his current position and popularity is just him benefiting from the mental collapses. We'll make him have a change of heart, no matter what it takes. Mom.
Shido, huh?
What is the matter?
I had a feeling he was wrapped up in all this, just based on the connections I had from my previous job.
This shit fascinates me.
I think the one who crushed Wakaba's research and confiscated her materials was probably Shido. From the moment Wakaba died, I had a hunch he was involved.
So Sojiro used to be in politics. He was a regular Nick Miller. Now he owns a bar. But he used to be in politics, and he knew Shido, and he knew Wakaba, who is Futaba's mom. And yeah. Along with that, we don't know who Futaba's dad is. Nobody knows. Sojiro doesn't know. Or he says he doesn't know. It might have been Shido. So, Futaba and Akechi maybe have siblings, which would rule. I think. That'd be an interesting relationship.
But there wasn't anything I could do. So I chose to protect Futaba and went into hiding.
So he got out of politics for Futaba's sake.
Why didn't you say that sooner?
You guys would have definitely gone after him if I had. He
I
would
have
have
to
just
take a
killed
picture
all
of
you, no
Moira.
doubt.
She's on her back.
That's what he usually does to people.
Belly
who get
up.
in his way.
It's too cute.
Originally, I was looking into the mental shutdown cases. It was then that I accidentally stumbled upon government research regarding the psychotic breakdowns.
Oops.
So I tracked down the whereabouts of that research data and met with the associated parties. Boss was one of those parties. I would never have imagined all of this was connected. The mental shutdowns, psychotic breakdowns, Shido, and even the Phantom Thieves' actions.
Way back when, Shido kept saying he was going to be Prime Minister one day. Nobody believed him, though.
What's going to happen to this country if Shido becomes Prime Minister?
Masayoshi Shido, the guy running for Prime Minister. Got a hit! Well, duh. It ain't a surprise he has one.
The doy.
Where would the location be?
What kind of things go through a politician's head?
I always think of dirty money and shady actions.
We already had that
What does
palace.
he do? And where? We don't got a clue about this guy's life.
His palace must be somewhere that politicians frequent. Any ideas?
The diet building is the correct answer, but a fancy restaurant, an election headquarters, is the diet building.
We got a hit!
How arrogant must he be to see himself as the ruler of the Diet building?
It's like the
Our next target's
government
the big shot
office.
politician Masayoshi Shido. We're gonna do this, right?
Next target. We have to. What about Akechi? I would love to ask about Akechi. But it's only gonna prompt like rude comments from them, and I am trying to minimize the amount of slander that Akechi gets in my game, so we have to.
Hell yeah! Nobody against it?
No.
Of course.
He will be a worthy opponent.
Let's win this together.
Woohoo!
Time for revenge. Then it's unanimous.
All we gotta do now is figure out what he thinks that Diet building place is.
So that's the app that allowed me to enter the metaverse.
An old fart
Sorry.
like me can't wrap his head around all this stuff.
We'll have to deal with this before Election Day, December 18th. That means we need it done by the 17th.
It's best we hurry before they discover there's no body in the morgue.
We just finished
Should
a
we start
palace,
tomorrow, then?
and we get
We
this
can
big
meet at the
info
Diet
dump,
building after
and then we
school.
get another
Reminds
palace.
me, what are you gonna do about school? You can't show up if you're supposed to be dead.
Summer
Miss Kawakami said he went
vacation.
back home for
Ferris
family
Bueller's
reasons.
Day Off.
That's what I told the school.
Don't let him find out you're alive then, alright? This whole thing would be for nothing.
What do you mean?
This operation had another purpose outside of escaping Akechi's clutches. Shido tried to place all the blame on the Phantom Thieves and deceive the public at the same time. He has ruined countless lives, and even made Goro Akechi, a student, assist him with assassinations.
That's
a
fucked
mere
up.
change of heart is too lenient a sentence for such an abominable criminal. We'll be making use of the police statement that the leader of the Phantom Thieves committed suicide. Our leader, who is presumed dead, will come out of hiding to deliver a grand statement. He'll say he has escaped prison, not committed suicide, and was in fact almost killed by a criminal. Everyone's gonna flip.
You guys thought through all this stuff too?
Oh yeah.
We're intellectuals, you know.
That's why you
Hi,
needed such
baby.
a daring trick as getting captured and appearing to be
Little
killed.
kitty. Aw, damn
frightening
it. She got out
teenagers.
of her belly flop.
But the true
Don't
battle
scorch the couch!
has only just begun. We won the first round, but we must stay
I have to
on our
yell at
toes.
them about scratching the
Yeah,
couch.
this ain't
All
the
the
time
time.
to be celebrating.
These people tried to trap and kill us. There is no end to their inhuman, conniving nature. We will need to be prepared for whatever may come our way.
Hi!
I finally made it this far. It's already been 2.5 years since we met.
Ow!
Back then, you earned the media's attention as a young politician who could rise up against bureaucracy. Because of that, those who wanted to preemptively deal with problems tried to tie you up in scandal.
To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. I recall that's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought
This
you
is just
insane.
their evil
I made those
monologuing,
troublesome opponents psychotic
info dumping
and
for
erased
the
any
audience.
trace of that scandal.
Oh,
Think that
gee,
tampering with a
remember
person's
when?
heart
2.5
would trigger a
years
psychotic
ago?
lapse or mental shutdown. And when someone like that said he'd support me, I had suspected there'd be
Aye.
an ulterior motive.
It's because I sympathized with your aspiring ideology. I believed that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future.
Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it works.
Wakaba Ishiki, was it?
Sorry. Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I'm trying to see the connection, read it between the lines here. I recall it's when you came to me. You promoted yourself saying you had special powers. If it wasn't for the research on cognition that I dabbled in, I would have thought you insane. I made those troublesome opponents psychotic and erased any trace of that scandal. The research? I feel like I'm dumb, but... Oh, no, so... Shido became popular. Because of that. People tried to get him caught up in scandals. To think I would fall for the ruse schemed by those decrepit fools in power. Interesting. Well, he's not that old. He's like in his... Or he's not that young, I meant to say, because he's in his 50s. Early 50s, I guess. Maybe late 40s, but I'm pretty sure it said like 50-something. Interesting. So he kind of got tangled up with a bunch of old farts. And then Goro appeared, Akechi appeared, promoted yourself, saying you had special powers. He was talking about his ability to go in the metaverse. To which he says, I made those troublesome opponents psychotic and erased any trace of that scandal. Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown?
Who'd think that tampering with a person's heart could trigger a psychotic lapse or mental shutdown?
He did. Shido knew that because he was into the research on cognition. And he's the one who taught Akechi how to do. I sympathize with your aspiring ideology. Lies. I believe that your ideals needed to be achieved for the sake of the country's future. Just talking him up, stroking his ego. Well, my faith in you was precisely why I pulled the plug on that research. I only need you using that power. It'd be troublesome if someone else uncovered how it worked. Okay. Okay, I had a thought for a second when I tuned in for like a second, because I'm just kind of that was hinting at that there were experiments performed on people to fabricate Persona users, because it's kind of been talked about in the fandom a little bit, like that's a theory, and that's why Akechi has multiple personas, because he was supposedly, he may have been experimented on by Wakaba. And so I was wondering if this like had any supporting info to that, but no, it's just kind of like, I got you, I only want this power for myself, so I'm gonna kill everyone else, or make Akechi kill everyone else, so that it's just me who has this power through Akechi. And then Akechi says,
Wakaba Ishiki, was it? That researcher. She wouldn't have had to die if she just complied.
Any suspicions should be snubbed out. Even the smallest doubt must be severed at the root.
yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it off auto so that I can pay attention and dig deeper into all this. So, Wakaba obviously is a good person. She's Futaba's mom. So the negative implications of using the cognitive world obviously would not have been okay with her, and most likely she and Shido butt heads a lot. And so Shido asked, or commanded Akechi kill her. and from what I understand, she is the first person Akechi killed. The others were, as he said, mental shutdowns, which just means they go and like are kind of comatose, kind of just like this despair and like kind of zombie-ish, which I don't need this fucking music. That ties into Persona 3, where around the time of the full moon, more people were falling into, I forget what they called it, but same basic idea. More people were becoming like kind of like zombies and kind of just like and it was the effect of shadows attacking them during the midnight hour. And there were groups, Kirijo groups, pulling off shady experiments during that time in Persona 3. Yukari's dad was involved in it. So that's the connection there. So that supports the theory of Akechi being experimented on and that's how he came about his persona abilities. But like also there's a whole bunch of other garbage that comes later, so.
After all, we had an active public prosecutor's office director on our side until recently.
Yeah, even though this is like just like we know all this already, there's no reason for us to say it verbally aside from the audience, letting the audience know. It is interesting to hear in their own words how the history played out, and it does give us good insight.
Astounding, isn't it? To think the director himself often forged evidence to secure his promotion.
He's a scumbag.
He was quite surprised when you confronted him about it. He didn't know who leaked that information.
It was me.
Well, I got that out of his shadow, so technically speaking, he did it himself.
He's so cute. I don't care that he's just a naughty boy. He's adorable.
This country's affairs have become stagnant. The political world is filled with old men who only act to preserve their own vested interests. The general public has forsaken such political affairs and don't even bother. Only ruin awaits us.
I must agree.
Hi, Lydia.
There's no need to be ruined.
I'm talking to
such
Pitbull.
Incompetent fools. I will lead this country to its revival. Those who get in the way must be eliminated at times. That's the correct way to use the metaverse.
Still, it would stand out if there were continuous deaths and scandals with your political rivals, which is why I made them suspects. Prosecute the targets that I turn psychotic, and solve them as cases unrelated to you.
Mr. Worldwide.
And thus, the charismatic ace detective was born.
Ta-da!
Thanks to your efforts, my clean image remains untarnished, and I've monopolized public opinion. Once I gained public sentiment, collaborators from
Mr.
all
Worldwide
sectors began approaching me on their own.
That's
The
Akechi's
police
dad.
were no exception. With fair management in
So
my pocket,
Akechi
keeping
will
them in
get
check
bald
was easy.
someday.
When the Phantom Thieves emerged,
He's gonna
I thought
lose
things
all
might
that
become
luscious
somewhat
hair.
troublesome.
And they were just brats once we looked into it. All we needed to do was lay the blame on them.
When you told
They're
me
just
that,
having
I
their
knew
evil
then that you
monologue
were the
right
better
now.
man.
Their
Like,
popularity
oh, this is
wasn't
our
beyond
plan.
my expectations.
This
But
was our
flipping
plan.
made
Look
the
how
negative
well it
press
did.
stronger. After that, all I had to do was openly berate them. I've been gaining more supporters since. The current administration is dead with ongoing scandals. Never mind the
They look nothing alike, I know.
Even the government parties have begun
Akechi
splitting
looks,
up, and they're dissolving
he's the
just
spitting
as
image of his
fast.
mom, who was a prostitute
Time has finally come.
that,
Just
Shido
a little more.
slept with randomly, accidentally knocked up.
However, inauguration isn't my goal.
Spoilers.
Masses can only
Is that
rely on others.
he looks just like her,
words,
and I guess that's how
you're
he
creating
knows
a powerful
that's his
country that
kid.
can compete with the
Angel
world.
said you look legit.
The public
Hell
resonates
yeah.
with my ideals and follows me.
I played this game before. I've streamed on and off for years.
That
I'm
is
just
my duty
never
as the chosen one.
steady enough to
Your assistance has
get
been
a following,
very
but that's
influential in
okay.
making my plans proceed smoothly. When I become Prime Minister, I'll grant whatever wish you want.
Liar!
With this most
You're
recent case,
lying.
my name has become known across the country, perhaps even the world. Surely my story will be passed down as a hero who won against monsters that could control people's hearts.
He's
I believe I'll
smiling.
lay
He's so
low
cute.
and devote myself to my studies.
I suppose with your age, you wouldn't come up with debauched desires.
I am thinking about the future, though.
They're both like liars and scumbags. Like,
How do I put this?
the conversation is so muddled with like multiple conversations happening at once. I'll get 100 phones with 100 Twitch accounts. That's expensive. No. Cause like Akechi and Shido are working together, father and son, dream team. Akechi's only doing it so that he can humiliate his father and like bring his success to ruin, and he'd be like, "Ha! Revenge for dumping my mom and leaving me abandoned." Shido already knows that Akechi is his kid, and because of that, Shido is planning on killing Akechi as soon as he stops being useful. So both of them are like, "Oh yes, we'll have all the success and it's gonna be great. You and me, we're awesome. We're buds." And they're both like, "I'm gonna kill you." Alright, so we get a little bit of gameplay now. Looks like things have finally settled down. Life's gonna get real busy for you starting tomorrow, right? Get some rest.
Well then.
The chief's right. Let's take it easy for today. Thieves' Den is updated. I'm not going in the Thieves' Den because it stops recording, I think. Well, let's see, I guess. We stand. Let's try and go in. Does it let me go in? Ho-ho! Okay. So this is something new for this game. It's just a fun area of like collectibles. We can listen to music over here. We got lots of music. Oh, how sweet! The jazz club music. I'm gonna buy it. It is raining like crazy. Okay, so yeah, anyway, we got music over there. We got movies over here. We got awards over here. We got photos. We got some fun photos that they take in the game. Some promotional photos up here. Over here we can play card games with everybody. That's kind of fun. I'm kind of waiting until Akechi is allowed to be in here though, before I really get into the card game. Because I only want to play with him. Oh, how funny. Those 3 voice actors are live right now. So, Ryuji's voice actor, Akechi's voice actor, and then Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. They're streaming right now. And I would watch them if I weren't streaming right now. And so then in here we have like these statues. So like this is Shadow Futaba. game is so pretty. It is. I love it. Over here we have Akechi's TV studio. And you can like stand in it, pose. And then some characters will show up and like talk about it. Talk about the stuff. So like this was a boss. And the girls are here and you can listen. It may be true that young people are ignorant and reckless, but that is absolutely no reason to exploit them. Yeah, I hope that by taking down Kaneshiro, there will be at least a few less victims. There was new dialogue somewhere, it said. Where are you guys? Okay, there they are. No, I've heard this dialogue before, I'm pretty sure. So many people's dreams are stolen at the hands of Madarame. I wonder if one of these figures represents my mother. Hard to say, but we changed this Madarame guy's heart, right? I think your mom's grateful for that. I know she is. Futaba! Yes, you're right, I feel the same. So this is another boss. Give, please, take... Pasta that. Give, please, pasta that to... What are you doing? Lydia, you crazy. Okay, so start palace. Got some new items. Buy. We can buy a giant slot machine. Sure, where are we gonna put it? I'll send you a screenshot. Okay. I do want to get rid of one of these two because they're gross. I guess I'll get rid of the giant. Let's see the screenshot. Oh, you're using emoticons. They just don't show up here. I see. Are those... What are those? They look like little, They look like mole people. Mole people throwing pasta. Any foozles. Ooh, yes! We are absolutely putting her in. She's so beautiful! Okay, so we can get rid of Shadow, Futaba, or Necronomicon. I'm gonna get rid of Necronomicon. They look like Kirby. Yeah. Look how beautiful she is! She looks like a Silent Hill boss. I love her! Alright. And then we got new decor. So it can also look like casino, I guess. Yeah. But to be honest, I'm gonna keep it with the space because when you look up, you can kind of see that's another boss up there. But you can see the sky through the ceiling and the stars and space, and so it's cool. Okay. People are at LeBlanc. Cafe LeBlanc. Man, this place is like a second home. I can really kick back when I'm here.
Indeed.
Indeed, I shall never forget the way Boss and our leader took care of me. They let me stay when I had nowhere else to go. It was a true act of kindness. I remember that. Man, it was wild how you just ran away from home all of a sudden. I failed to anticipate that On would reject me, so next time I'll be sure to prepare a more lavish gift.
No.
That's not the problem here. Did Sandra announce the CTLS in a meeting or email? Yeah. She sent out an email with everyone's new manager and said who the two seed TLSs are. And those are the only two TLSs she's taking care of now. So her old one, is on another team. Okay, well, we're done here, I guess. I think. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, everyone's gone, or everyone's done, so we're turned in game. So at this point, we can get a little more plot dump. I'm gonna talk to my dad.
So,
Oh, by the way, the police report on your death isn't gonna show up at your school. No need to worry. Seems Prosecutor Nijima worked out some kind of deal with the higher-ups or something. I mean, they haven't even said anything to me, even. As long as you stay quiet, you'll be fine.
well, how do I put this?
And I guess if they reported your death now, they'd basically be saying you were a Phantom Thief. They can't really go announcing what the Phantom Thieves are, so I'm sure they'll avoid that. I miss you. I'm so sick right now. What's wrong? Don't be sick. I come take care of you. What's wrong? Morgana says, at any rate, I'm glad you're back safe and sound. But even that's putting it too lightly. You had it rough in there, didn't you? Don't worry about it, and only a little. Both of those are lies. Downplaying it. So I'm gonna say only a little, because that's at least a little more truthful.
Sorry.
Akechi was after you all along. I knew he was risky, but we had no choice but to depend on him. But thanks to your tenacity, you were able to fool him. It's payback time. Let's make him regret underestimating the Phantom Thieves. It's so loud outside. Alright, more info dump from Futaba.
Remember how I hijacked your phone during the school trip? That kind of came in handy.
I'm glad she's reading it. How so? Or I'm not interested.
Well, remember how I put that wiretap app in Akechi's phone?
I have a cold. I gotta take NyQuil and sleep. I love you so much. I will watch you when I feel better. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. You get some rest. I should really stop because it's like storming like crazy, and yeah. But I only really wanted to stream because the info dump part of this game is so boring, and I wanted to like be able to like talk it out, and provide some insight to make it more fun for me. So thank you for watching me. I'm sorry you're sicky. Please feel better and get good rest. Mwah.
Basically, that let me see GPS info for 2 phones, yours and his. I'd be able to tell the precise moment Sai Nijima, who had your phone, ran into Akechi. That's when I saw my chance, and beep, sent the signal to activate the Metaverse Navigator. But there was a chance they'd just pass each other without saying a single word.
I don't know if you cats are like, I still want to go outside even though it's raining, or if you're like, whoa, it's raining outside. You're the best. I love you so much. Teehee. It is storming. Yes, if you want to stream again, hopefully I'm better tomorrow. Mwah. Mwah.
That's why we needed you to tell Sai Nijima to show the phone to Akechi. This plan still surprises me no matter how many times I hear it. Still, I couldn't just directly hack into the Metaverse Nav. It's a mysterious app after all. But you know how it has that bookmark function? All you have to do is push the button. Making the phone think he was pushing that button was totally doable. Pretty good, huh?
I've heard that explanation lots of times, but I always forget like the specifics of it.
It may not have looked like it, but everyone else was risking their lives too.
It wasn't just you.
Though there's no doubt you were the most at risk. I mean, you actually got arrested.
Yeah, and if it didn't work, then I would have gotten shot in the head.
But it seems like all the drugs and stuff made you forget the details of the plan.
Yes.
Want me to explain how it all went down? It might take a bit.
Is it the same thing that I've heard like 2 times now?
Well, since the rest of us didn't get captured, we had to act. We had to pretend we never wanted you to get arrested. Pretend the suicide news was a real shock. Basically, we had to act like we didn't know anything, 24/7.
Oh my
The
goodness.
enemy knows who we are, so we couldn't let our guard down even once while you were gone. If they had people watching us and realized what our plan was, they would have killed you immediately.
They mean in regards to when I was talking with Nijima.
Want to hear more?
Yeah!
Another tough part was figuring out how to get Sai Nijima and Akechi back from the metaverse. In order to return to reality, you have to go back to the point where you came into the metaverse. So, Sai and Akechi had to go through where the nav was activated, as in, the hall where they met. Akechi would just come back the same way after the assassination. The real issue was Sai Nijima. We needed to stop her for a moment before she headed back toward the interrogation room. But nothing can be sent to a phone inside a palace. So, I had to program the messages in beforehand. In doing so, I made it seem like the messages were coming at that exact moment in time.
I don't know if that was, like, a point of contention. That wasn't something that made me go, excuse me. Like, out of everything, that part is like...
That was kinda last minute, so I had to pull an all-nighter trying to get it set up. I'm really on a roll here. Wanna hear some more?
Sure!
Let me see. Another problematic thing was... Oh yeah, tying Akechi up. That was really tough.
Tying him up?
I obviously don't mean the real Akechi. Even if we could do that, it would ruin our plan. The one we had to tie up was Sai Nijima's cognitive Akechi.
Oh, that's right.
This part's really complicated. I know you're tired. You sure you want to hear all of this now?
Yeah.
Well, we needed to lure Akechi into Sai Nijima's palace and have him kill the cognitive version. But Akechi would have entered the palace immediately after meeting Sai Nijima in the hallway, right? Because of that, there was a pretty decent chance he'd run into the cognitive Akechi.
It's not like we did in the casino, though. Like, would he be hanging out in the... Like, why? Because she was even surprised to see the normal one there. Whatever! They're explaining details that, like, no one even fucking thought of, but they were like, we're covering all our bases. And it's like, I didn't really ask. It's cool. Suspension of belief is fine.
And if that happened, Akechi would have totally realized we'd lured him into the palace. Nobody actually even thought of this possibility until the night before the assassination.
See, like, even in the fucking game itself, it's like, oh yeah, I guess this is a thing that could happen. Let's plan to fix it.
Makoto realized in the middle of the night, then it was a huge mess trying to figure out what to do. In the end, we chose to sneak into the metaverse while the plan was happening to tie up the cognition.
That's really weird.
Because you told Sae to show him the phone, we expected her to chat with him for at least a bit. So, we had a few minutes to strike after the cognitive Akechi showed up, but before the nav activated.
What? We had to there would be no cognitive Akechi without the nav being activated. What do you mean? See, now I'm just even more confused. The more details you try and tell to, like, explain every little thing, the more confused people end up being.
It was Operation Tie Him Up. Though it wasn't really much of an operation in the end. Thankfully, Sai Nijima didn't know his true nature, so the one that appeared was an ordinary kid. It was pretty simple surrounding him, knocking him out, and tossing him on another floor.
I just don't get... If we had seen cognitive Akechi in Nijima's palace, maybe that would have been a different thing, where it would be like, oh yeah, what are they gonna do with cognitive Akechi? But because we didn't even see him, it could just be like, yeah, Saya doesn't even really think about him. Which is plausible, because Okumura didn't really think about Haru, and we didn't see Haru until the boss fight. And that was only in this game. We didn't even see her in the original Persona 5. So, like, whatever.
Man, watching Makoto's skill was super amazing. I guess she does use Knuckles as her weapon.
She just fucking decked Akechi.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is, Appreciate what everyone else did.
Good God! I didn't say I didn't.
I just can't help but rant when I'm talking about stuff that interests me. Sorry about that. Just focus on resting up. You don't have to worry about anything else.
They kind of...
Seriously, well done.
We done? Cool. Okay, yeah. One last thing before I end the stream so I can watch Lava. They kind of show a little bit how seriously this plan affected Ren himself. Dude was tortured, dude was drugged, and dude was beat up by cops and did sensory deprivation, tons of crap. He was being interrogated while he was drugged out of his mind, barely remembering the significant stuff, right? So he's screwed up in the head, and if one thing went wrong, then their whole plan would have failed, and the real Ren would have been shot in the head and died for real. Traumatizing stuff, a lot of stuff on his shoulders, and he's messed up about it, and we can see that a little bit. It's like the other Phantom Thieves don't realize it, though. Not really, or like not to the they don't know how seriously it affected him, and like he likes it that way and wants to keep it that way, and that's kind of why he responds in the way he does, because that's his whole thing, is that like, don't worry about me, I take care of everyone else. For the most part, if not entirely, just themselves. Like, they don't hide behind like false pretenses with each other. Ren is not putting a front in order to just help Akechi. Akechi is he's lying a lot still, but like he brings him to the jazz club. He tells him about his mom. He shares personal details about himself that he doesn't to other people. So all of this to say is that Protag is a really interesting character, and I wish the Persona series kind of went away from the silent Protag thing and kind of let the main character be his own person more. I mean, it's gotten more lenient with every Persona game. As each Persona game goes, the Protag develops more of a sense of self, and then the spin-off games kind of build off and really give the Protags their own personality, but I kind of wish they would just do with it entirely and be like, this is just a character you're playing as, like Noctis, like Titus, like any Final Fantasy character, like you're just playing as them, but they are also the protagonists. There doesn't need to be this imprinting anymore. He doesn't need to be a Link. Like, Link is Link, and like, but these Protags, like, they eventually become their own people anyway, so like, just let them be their own people. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's watching still, but thank you for watching me for a little bit and helping me get, so Friday we might play more. But yeah, go watch Lava. There, it's Akechi's voice actor, Ryuji's voice actor, and Noctis' voice actor. So yeah. Okay, bye.